Okay, and we're back for part 2 of the projector reading. Sorry about that. Something happened with my phone and the reading ended while I was talking for about another 10 minutes. So, well, probably not 10 minutes, probably just a few minutes. But where I left off at was, just saying that, using your ego to know your value, know, your worth, using your knowledge and being confident in that will and also putting yourself out there, putting what you know out there, putting your knowledge out there, your wisdom out there, and not chasing opportunities will result in the opportunities coming, right? Waiting for the invitation. The opportunities to work with the people that's meant for you will come, right? So let's move on. Because that was the heart, dealing with willpower, having the willpower to not chase things and just, sitting in your own auric energy. And as a projector, our aura pierces through other auras, and those that that are meant to work with us, they'll feel it and they'll come to you. So let's move on to the emotions, the solar plexus. Let's see what we got. The swords, temperance, and the wheel of fortune. Yeah. So for emotions, like I said, this doesn't have to mean that, you have these energy centers defined, but, when we are chasing, like I said, when we are chasing the opportunities instead of letting them come to us, we feel that restriction, and that restriction emotionally, makes us feel like we're not good enough, right? So we have to kind of be patient with ourselves, be patient with our emotions as well, realize that you're kind of being triggered and feeling, bitter, because that's the projector not self theme, feeling bitter and feeling restricted because, you're looking at other people's success, that, and success is the projector's signature, meaning that's when you're in your, your true energy, that feeling of success and being seen and recognized. When we're chasing, we're not in that, right? So we have to be patient because, excuse me, because we're destined to, get what we want. We're destined to be successful. We just have to be able to stop and realize our conditions and our influences that have us feeling restricted. And once we're able to do that, I tell a lot, because I do human design readings as well, chart readings. I tell a lot of people too, use your not self theme. Don't ever block. If for projectors, it's bitterness. You'll compare yourself to other people's success and shit. So instead of blocking that, trying to block that out when you feel bitter, no, sit there and actually use that shit. Use it. Look at yourself. Look at what are you doing? Look at your strategy. Is are you the one that's initiating? If so, well then why you're feeling bitter, and feeling restricted or whatever. You can't, nothing's going your way, or things aren't going as you would like, because that's not your strategy, right? And that's human design basics. But if you're waiting, right, or whatever, you didn't initiate, and you still feel restricted, look at all of your open centers. Like, where are your open centers? Do a self-assessment. It might be one open center or two, depending on how many you have. You know, it could be 4 open centers or whatever the combination is. Look at the aspects of those open centers and see if you're being conditioned or influenced from your open centers, right? And because that'll put you in your not self theme, because anytime you're operating out of your open centers, that's not your true self, right? That's not your true energy. So be patient with yourself. Do a self-assessment, you know, and don't allow yourself to fall into your not self theme. And then everything that's meant for you will come, because you'll be in your strategy, right? You'll be operating from your strategy and making decisions out of your inner authority, bringing, you know, energetically, this is how it all works, like bringing you everything that you're meant to have. You know, bringing the people to you that you're meant to work with, especially if it's, you know, in business, bringing you that success, bringing you like success in your relationships. Like, let's move on to the sacral, the gut, which we don't have open. Which we don't have defined, right? So let's just see what comes up for this. Projectors do not have a defined sacral center. You know, this is the reason why we aren't meant to, you know, push ourselves and do like a lot of work and, you know, work long hours and stuff like that. We're supposed to, you know, preserve our energy and take advantage of it when we feel those energetic bursts to do stuff, right? So let's see. It also deals with responsibilities, the sacral center. Nope. Yeah, so when it comes to the sacral center, we have to like as those new, like, I don't want to say new opportunity. Well, yeah, new opportunities, but I'm looking at this more of like, each burst of energy is a new burst of energy that we need to like kind of like get excited about, you know, and not worry about what's not working for us. And when we get those bursts of energy, use that, handle your responsibilities, handle what you know that you're meant to do, handle what you're passionate about, handle what you're curious about, like, you know, tap into the things that, you know, excite you, right? And rest when your body's telling you that you need rest. But, you know, when we're not like using those opportunities, Page of Wands in reverse, we're not being excited about those opportunities because we're too stuck in our not self theme, because we're you know, bitter and comparing ourselves. Like, new opportunities like aren't gonna come, you know, new people aren't gonna come, new journeys are not gonna come, right? So we have to recognize that, because once we do that, look, you know, it brings us, the sun is happiness, but for us it's success, right? For projectors it's success, right? This is your signature right here, the sun card. So we have to use those energetic bursts when they come, and we have to utilize those strategically because we don't have as much energy as a generator or a manifesting generator, and we can't initiate like a even though manifestors don't have as much energy as generators and man-gens either, but we can't initiate like they can, so it has to be strategic, right? Like, we have to use it when it comes. Put yourself out there. Let's move on to the spleen. My inner authority is splenic. I'm a 1-3 splenic projector. And we know the spleen deals with our instincts, intuition, survival, keeps us safe. Spleen is always scanning. So let's see, what is this saying for our spleen center as far as the aspects of the spleen? Okay. So when we're not going along with, you know, our strategy or our inner authority, like it's clouding our judgment, and we're not clear on what we need to be doing. We're not clear on what's right for us, and it kind of like, you know, it as far as like splenic energy, it kind of like inconveniences us, right? Because the spleen will also look for inconveniences. There's a lot of times where I've like not went according to my inner authority, which is the spleen, and even just with in the moment things of like, oh, I should turn, if I turn this way, I know it's going to take a little bit longer to get to the interstate, but you know, I know it's a more like less traffic path, right? But and then I get in my head and I start going my normal way, and then I end up behind a dump truck and, you know, become late anyway. Right? So when we're not operating in our true energy, we're being inconvenienced because we're not clear on like what we need to be doing, right? And when we need to be doing it. Because the spleen is always about in the moment, you know, taking risks too, depending on if it's open or not. So we need to, you know, we need to like get clear on, especially like before with the sacral row, on when those bursts of energy come through. Like, be clear on like what it is that you want to do to utilize that energy to get the most out of that energy, right? Because when you do that, you'll be inspired, right? You'll inspire yourself almost, or you'll be inspired by something around you. You just, you know, just don't ever duplicate, because inspiration is the crown center up at the top, and a lot of us don't have the crown center defined, so we can't ever duplicate what we're being inspired by, but we can always make it our own unique thing, you know, like do it your own way, you know. But that inspiration will come in, right? But if we're not doing that, then we don't get what we want, right? Like we're not accomplishing our goals. We're not completing the things that we need to complete, you know. Excuse me, should have got some water. Yeah, but we're not doing the things that we need to be doing and completing the things that we need to complete, and utilizing our energy in the right way. That's why things won't get done, because we don't have that. Like I said, we don't have that energy as projectors to just pump out work like that and just get things done, and that take a while, take a long time, take a lot of energy. So, you know, we have to get clear on what it is that we're doing in the moment that we're doing them, when those moments of like those energetic bursts come, right? And so last, let's look at the root. The root deals with your drive, you know, that it rules the adrenal glands. Like it's your drive to do things. I always say too, the root being your drive to do things and get things done. Literal, if you look at people on the road when they're driving, like you can tell who has an open spleen and who has a defined spleen. The open spleen people are the people going too slow, and the defined, Did I say spleen? I meant root. My bad. The open root people are the people taking their time on the road, and the defined root people are the ones swerving and getting mad at the open root people because they're taking too long to, you know, make a turn or whatever the case is. Like, you can literally look at the road and tell who has open and defined root centers. But let's see what they say. Let's see what it says as far as just the energy, right? Okay. So as far as the root goes, like, especially if you have it defined, especially with a defined root, like, you're gonna have that urge to do things, but this is telling you, like, honor your body when it is telling you to rest. You know, honor your body when it is telling you to rest, because when you're not doing that, Four Swords in reverse, not doing that, like things are not gonna feel good, like, because they won't be going your way. You're not gonna be attracting the things that you want to attract. You know, like, you won't be receiving anything. Like, you won't be receiving the abundance. You know, and it looks like, ending the reading, because this is the last row, like, doesn't look like it may appear like it's not, you know, the best ending to a reading, but it's telling you honor your rest, right? Honor your rest so that, you know, you won't, like, fall into these situations or these moments where, you know, you're feeling bitter, or you're feeling like hurt or upset, or, you know, whatever, just negative about, like, the outcome of things, because we tried to push ourselves too much. You know, we don't have an open sacral, and, you know, the question for the sacral center is, do I know when enough is enough? And when you don't have, when we don't have a defined sacral, we have an open sacral. And when you have an open sacral, you have to know when enough is enough, because you're going to push yourself and you're going to deplete yourself, and things just aren't going to go the way that you want it to go. And as for projectors, we're not going to receive that recognition. We're not going to receive that success, right? So this last row is really just a reminder, just telling you, like, look, sit the fuck down when it's time to sit down. And the overall recap of the reading is, when you get those bursts of energy, like, use it, right? Like, start stepping into your strategy, start stepping into your inner authority, you know, especially if you're new to human design. Like, human design is something that really, like, helped me out, because I quit my job in February of 2022. It's coming up on a year, and, you know, I've done little things here and there. Like, you know, I've started working on my business. You know, I've done little side things here and there to, you know, help me out financially, but not being at a 9 to 5 all the time has really, like, help me energetically, because I'm not, like, using all of my energy in one place that doesn't really serve me anymore. You know, I'm not there anymore where it doesn't really serve me, and I'm able to, like, feel like I'm being, like, the recognition is just coming. I feel like I'm being seen for the things that I'm doing with my jewelry making, with, you know, doing human design readings, tarot readings, stuff like that. Like, you know, you really have to, like, find what really works for you. I know, like, a lot of people don't have the luxury to just quit their job, but, like, you have to find some kind of, like, way to, if you gotta, like, take rest on your lunch break just so that you have enough energy, like, once you get off of work, you know, like, find ways, you know. Look at the smallest things that you can do to preserve your energy, so that when it comes to, you know, if you feel like you're not doing what you're meant to be doing, and you're working a job, a 9 to 5 job or whatever, and you want to get out of that, you have to, like, look for all the little small things that are working in your favor, right? So that eventually it's going to build up to where you can actually leave, you know, and actually do what you want to be doing. Or if it's in a relationship, like all that is just basically like kind of like coming clear, or being clear about like your energy and how it works with your partner, you know, like especially if your partner is like a generator or a man gen who has a lot of energy and like and it is expecting you to keep up. That's not gonna happen, right? So yeah, it's just all about being clear. Again, like, you know, we got to get clear on what it is that we need to be doing to preserve our energy and use the energy when the burst comes, so that we can have that inspiration to do what it is that like we're curious about, right? So that's the end of the reading. Sorry I had to split it up in two. Don't know what the hell happened to my phone. Well, I kind of do, but whatever. But yeah, so again, if you want to follow me on social media, Instagram, I'm at buddha.aq. If you're interested in checking out any of my crystal jewelry, you know, this is just a personal piece. I get like way more detailed than this when I make other pieces for other people. Yeah, you know, follow me there as well. On Instagram is at Eagle Vision Crystals, right? Or you can go check out my website, eaglevisioncrystals.com. But until the next projector reading, peace.